Okay, great. Thanks. I got the message. All right. Good evening, folks. This is the Tuesday night Democracy Delivered staff or Sentinel and Guardian meeting. And Justin has offered an agenda, which I appreciate, and we'll try to hold to that. I just want to brief you. We've become a different company in a very positive way, I think, over the last week or so. And it's a credit to John Tues, who won't be joining us tonight, and some of his connections and support. So if you've not heard, this past Saturday, I went down and met with Kevin Harkins, who's a contracting business owner, the owner of a growing restaurant and brewery, and also a leadership academy. And we are happy to have him join us as a premium member, as well as a gentleman by the name of it's not Chris Roach. It's I forget his first name already. Brian. Thanks, Aaron. Thank you so much. Brian Roach, who's the executive director of the Buffalo Naval Yard, which is a pretty impressive property and a project. And then Mike Bedard is already a premium member, and each of his family members has joined. He is yet to provide payment, but has had some other things in his life kind of draws attention for a short period of time. But he's officially asked to begin to how to get more larger dollars into our entity. So through that conversation, we met at Ronald Reagan, Aaron, myself, John Tues, Mike, and Tim Davidson, and it was a very positive discussion. So the goal of tonight's call is to begin to professionalize our reality. We've come through the holidays. We are editing in certain areas, and it seems like it's been a long time, but we've got some things to tighten up, to include our paperwork, our defined processes, our written projections, our key performance indicator management, and really just create a mechanism of productivity. We each have responsibilities in that role that are not designed to be overwhelming, but we're going to make sure that we commit to what we say we can do on a weekly basis, and then hold each other accountable in a positive way, because the growth that comes from that, the leveraging that reality, is huge. What ends up happening is we can compel greater dollars to come in, add additional staff, improve our processes, both on the productivity side and then the rate at which we can garner more premium members, and then it becomes a chicken and the egg type of deal. So meaning that more money begets more members begets more money, and our capability grows. We had a lot of good discussion about the risks involved with some of that. I think our online shopping mall process is clear to understand. It'll grow. I think we'll garner Amazon back in some fashion again, and I understand the importance of that, but it's not terribly critical or first priority as we move ahead. But our shopping process, works and has kinks in it, and then our online work program is beginning, thanks to Sammy and Wade and others that are contributing to that. And then the advertising is going to come. So we will sit down I will sit down, and that's my role, is to continue to interact with folks that have deeper resources, corporations that are willing to support our entity. That would become my main focus, and really explaining our value. Our value is synergistic. Each of you brings an absolute inherent value to the organization, and please understand that, which is good. So, okay, that's the scoop. If you've not conveyed what you can honestly bring to the table for the organization on a weekly basis, please do so. If you have questions about that, you need to make it clear, and you and I have that conversation. Aaron Davenport, who's arguably the best tactical and professional manager in the group, will help us make sure that those move through professionally through a KPI process, and those outcomes are clearly communicated. And each of our strengths will kind of parlay through that process. So your thought work is important, and I'm going to borrow Justin's thoughts and just give everyone an opportunity to talk about what they've accomplished, what they're going to accomplish next week, how that parlays, and then your goals for the upcoming week. And we're going to follow a more rigid, I use that term carefully, a more structured agenda moving ahead, and more structured process in each of those things. So, and then keep in mind there's a time criticality to this, because Aaron is going to meet with Mike and KZ next week. Is it next week, Aaron? Or is it, yes, next week, Wednesday, right? Yeah, I think so. And then that becomes, pretty apparent. So, all right, let's go around. If you just want to offer some of your focus areas, you can talk about your goals if you like. I'm going to start from the bottom. Stacy, you're going to be up in about a minute, just as a heads up. Then move to Aaron, Mike Beach, John Hennigan, Alex, and who's at 703, 638?
Hi, it's Nell. I just called in.
Wonderful. Great. I didn't recognize the number. You tricked me with that Virginia number from the West Coast. So
Happens every time.
Awesome. And then Wade, Samuel, so we'll just move up. So Stacy, if you want to kind of talk about your focus, I know you and Nell have been busy, and we'll try to keep it to, I don't know, 4 minutes per person, if you don't mind. So go ahead.
Sure, I'm happy to. Hey, everybody. So Nell and I reconvened over the weekend. We have sort of had dueling schedules through the holidays with travel and family and such. But we spent some time talking about our work, and I submitted some goals to Alex, I guess a week or two ago, and they weren't on my time horizon that I submitted was actually the month of January. Mike, I apologize for not breaking it down to weekly. But I shared it with Nell, and we started talking about creating team goals for the two of us, because we work so closely together with writing. The marketing piece is requires a lot of review and iteration, and so she and I work closely together that way. And so we've decided to shift the goals, instead of being individually focused on me, having them be the work that we will share together. And I can go through those quickly with you. The first is to finalize the first quarter marketing plan by the end of the month, to create draft landing page content by the end of the month as well. Wade has put together a template online. I guess you did that, Wade. Wade sent me a link. I don't know who did it. It may have been Sammy or Justin, of the landing page structure. And so we know what it's going to look like and how it will flow. And so now Nell and I are going to work to get the language into the landing page. Also, Sammy reached out to me about that about a week ago as well, and so now I know to submit our content to you, Sammy. We also, and this is actually something on my plate. I heard an echo. I don't know if somebody's come off of mute.
That's Wade.
Hey, Wade.
What? Not me. What? I didn't do anything.
Mute.
What'd I do?
Mute yourself.
So one of the things that's also a goal of mine is to connect with KZ. KZ, you're working on the policy content, and I'd like to have some time set aside for you and Nell and me to go over the policy alongside the marketing materials that we're putting together, because I want to make sure that we are aligned in both of those areas. We need to be aligned across those. And so it's sort of a QC that I'd like for us to do and to get some communication going between us. And then Nell and I started back before the holidays drafting answers to the frequently asked questions that folks are receiving when we try to communicate the ideas about BD out to new folks. And so we have those in, we have a couple of those in draft form, and so we'd like to finalize those by the end of the month as well. And so, yeah, so I mean, the activity for the past week is I've been gotten back in touch with Nell. We've had some good conversations, and I've also been making edits to the premium user policy agreement as well, and I need to get that back to you, Casey.
Great. Awesome, Stacy. Thank you so much. Anything else?
Not for me.
Awesome. Thanks. Aaron, to you, sir.
Okay. Hey. Yes, actually, we're going to meet with, I think, Mike Bedard tomorrow night in the North End in Boston. But like I said, we're going to find out why he's interested, and get to know him a little bit, and then go from there. But it sounds like he's very, very interested. So it should be an interesting meeting. So a little prep on that required. And then hopefully when everybody gets their goals in, and who exactly is collecting the goals? Can we just remind? Is it Alex? It's collecting them?
Yeah, I received them, and obviously I forward them to Mike.
Okay.
And I believe we are working, or Sam is working on creating just a combined document to have everybody else's goals in there. Is that what you're doing, Sammy? Sammy?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah, so that I believe that's what we're doing. Sammy's doing. But in the meantime, as I receive them, I forward them to Mike so he can take a look at them really quick.
Right. So you figure if everyone does at least 3 goals, that's going to be a lot of goals. And so I'm going to try to bin them appropriately and pair them with key performance indicators. And obviously, if you're doing something that is looks to be really important based on the key performance indicators, then we're going to put some more resources towards that. So I want to introduce some type of prioritizing method for work management, and then start integrating what the company does against what its key performance indicators are. And, example, number of new members, amount of revenue, several key performance indicators, and also indicators on the performance of the website as well. So there's going to be a bunch of them. I'll probably post them again if people have lost a vision of what they are, but they should be on our website. But I can post again. It would be in the Sentinel group on the social site. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Aaron. Headed up the list there, Mike Beach, you with us? Okay, he's there. But
is that me?
MJB?
Oh, I see me, Mike Moyers, but anyway.
Mike
Yeah.
Moyer.
I think I guess it's different each of our lists. So, all right, we'll come back to Mike and try Mike. John Hennigan.
Yeah. For I haven't submitted my goals yet, but Alex, I'll do that. I guess just to kind of run through what initially I'm thinking. My responsibility is pretty straightforward, but I need to talk to Mike today about getting smart sheet access, so I can update some of the columns, and some of those column headers and things have gotten a little skewed up. So need to go in there and fix that. Keep monitoring all the feedbacks from the site. We haven't had a whole lot lately, but keep monitoring that. And I need to reestablish reoccurring calls, Justin, with you. We were pretty good there for a while, and we've dropped off. So I'll reestablish those calls with you to make sure you're aware of any IT issues that we find, and just need to establish a reoccurring timeline for for me, I'll go through the system and I'll just do some user testing. I'll just click every button and try to break it. And I've done that sporadically, but I want to put that on a reoccurring every couple weeks or something every week to identify any issues. And really, that's about it for me, unless there's any questions.
Great, thanks, John.
Just a lot. John, many of the things you just mentioned are pretty high up on the KPI list. So,
okay.
Well done.
Glad to help.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Alex, do you want to throw anything in the mix?
Sure. You and I had a conversation about this previously, and I had committed to you to bring one pay member to join us. However, so far I have not had any luck. As you understand, as you know, my socioeconomic status has changed, and none of the people that I have around me are willing or are able to invest in the site and specifically providing that amount of money. However, my commitment will be to continue to increase my personal participation within the site and provide support as needed and continue to maintain the calendar for everybody and provide help as needed. I mean, I am available. You guys can contact me directly, and I'm willing to, work my schedule around to support any of you. So, I mean, if that is acceptable, I'll be willing to continue.
Absolutely. Thanks, Alex. That's great. And
Sure.
let's you and I continue to have conversations about our
Okay.
entity is designed to have folks at any economic level join us. It's important to me, at least, that everyone understands that. So let's continue to have that conversation, and we can talk about ways to make that happen. So thank you so much.
Okay. You're welcome.
All right. Nell, do you want to jump in there? Anything else you'd like to add, Nell? Welcome from the left coast. I think she's trying to find her mute button there. Let's see. Nell, can you hear us? All right, we'll move to
Hi,
Wade. There she is. Okay,
nope.
great. Okay.
I can hear you now. Sorry. You just dropped off for just a second, and I figured you might be calling on me just when I couldn't hear you, which would be the way it usually goes. If you can still hear me, I'll give a quick update. Stacy covered all of our goals, joint goals. I think that's going to work great for us. And also, we have had some success in churning out some video scripts and some other letters and marketing materials. We're using Smartsheets pretty effectively on the marketing team. So I think that's been great, and we're going to continue to do that.
Great. Thanks, Nell. Let's see here. Wade, you're up.
Can everybody hear me? Hello?
Yep.
You got me?
Shoot, man.
Okay.
Bang.
So all I'm going to be focusing here on the next couple of weeks is signing up members. The main thing that I need is the final document, so I can just have people sign their membership thing, or whatever you guys want to call it, on the dotted line with the paperwork. So as quickly as I can get that just means I can start knocking down the people that already said yes. So that'll be 10 or more by the end of the month. I just need to get that paperwork. So anybody that's in charge of that, or we got to approve that, let's just approve it so I can do it.
Wade, what are you looking for? The premium participation?
The document that explains the premium participation, and then their what they get for their $1,000.
All right, Mike, I sent it to you. I think everybody on this phone call and others have approved it.
It's definitely close to being fine.
I made a couple changes after your last comments, Aaron. I sent that to Mike.
Yeah, I think it's fine. It was just some internal semantics, but externally contextually it's fine. The numbers are correct. All that's fine. We were just arguing about syntax, whether we're calling ourselves users, members, participants, what the hell are we? That's not going to affect what Wade needs at all.
Okay, so can I start signing them and the documents will be official?
Yeah. So Wade, the way we've been doing it, and this is a good discussion, the moment that I get the money in my hands and deposit it, that secures their spot on the list, which I maintain, the master list. Or if somebody's putting in money on their own into the bank directly, they need to tell me so I can, obviously track that and mark them. That's, I've been doing that since member or premium participant 1, and I've just carried on that process. I think it's a fair way until somebody comes up with a better idea.
Okay, that's cool. Some of these people that I'm going to be signing up, I don't even really know from a close personal relationship. So it's more like a business to business kind of relationship. So the paperwork is good just for a tool for closing a sale, so to speak.
Yeah, awesome. So I think the best thing to do is to shoot that final version over to you and Aaron and anybody else that wants to see it, and give me a final yes or no, pencils down, and then we can just roll with it. And then Wade, you and I can work directly with each other on bringing new folks in. If you're sitting with somebody and they're ready to commit, just ring me up. We'll figure out how to get their money, and I'll lock them in as to their spot. Pretty easy to do
And
that.
how many that's on the paperwork? There's A and then there's B. Is A filled up? Is there
Yes.
just B's left?
Yep, just B's left. It's $1,000, and we're now in decreasing increments of percent of the revenue, and it explains how that percentage works. But I can tell you just by looking at my spreadsheet exactly where that person's going to fall once they deposit their mony.
Okay.
They'll get a
Can
slot.
can an A participant sell their A spot, or is that undoable?
Oh, I don't know. Good question. We never have.
Yeah, we talked about that.
We haven't talked about it.
We didn't establish anything, but right.
I don't know.
Good question.
Okay.
Good question. I would say not
This
yet.
is Henry Morgan. I'll buy it if you want to sell it.
Yeah, right.
I love
Get
him.
in line, Henry.
Okay. So
Yeah, guys.
that's where I'm at. I'm out. Next.
All right, thanks, guys. Just a couple comments. This is an asset that the individual can manage as they see fit, and we want to give them as much flexibility. Where we run into risk is if we commoditize it ourselves and it becomes a security as per SEC laws and regulations. So we want to be careful on that. And Tim has some input on that, which is great. All right, let's go back down the list. I think Mike Beach, can you still hear us? You with us, brother, by chance? Or let's see if he's there.
He's Captain Silent. He said he couldn't reach his microphone.
Oh, is that what he said? Interesting.
Yep. I dubbed him that nickname, Captain Silent. I might like it like that. I don't know.
All right, got it. Looks like
He's typing, but he doesn't spell so well.
He said that he can hear us.
Oh, I love it. Take advantage while you
Let's
can.
take advantage while we can, yeah.
We are.
He must be. I'll have to talk with him. He's probably out. All right. Okay. Anyone else that Henry? You're not a guest. You're a team membering listener. Any comments based on what you've heard?
This is outstanding. I'm so happy that I get to be on this side, and I think I was too overpowering on conversations from the normal questions, trying to give better ideas and extra stuff, and I was pushing it too far on the other side where I'm better on this side of it. Thank you.
No, that's great, Henry. No, that's only your wife's input, and I will rarely disagree with her, but I appreciate your candid feedback as well as anyone else's. So, all right, folks, that's I think a pretty productive meeting. Please assume the posture, position, and your role now that you kind of operate independently yet integrated in the team as we move ahead. It's important to show that strength to others that come in, and as we shine the diamond in terms of your bios, your pictures, your life history, your professional history, the role that you play. It's very much like it's almost like Shark Tank, but you're not sharks. So, but your personalities are critically important to parlay to others, because people are going to want to join the group, and I think you're seeing that. Thank you so much. That's all I have. Let's shift to open discussion time. Actually, Justin, I think he was Justin and Sammy. I skipped over. I can't believe it. What's wrong with me? Sammy, anything you want to add in your perspective, or Justin? Are you sitting in a field with crickets or something? That's pretty funny.
Out or something?
It sounds like you're in a lawn chair in the middle of like a farm pasture.
I am. How did you guess?
Yeah, I can hear the crickets.
No, noisy crickets, or I don't know. So my goals were to add you 3 jobs per month into the work program. We're currently working on 1. We do a sample for that tomorrow, actually. We show him and get his approval, let him know what we're going to do and how many pages it's going to be, all that good stuff. The job's already probably going to be over 300 right now. With that being said, it's important to really start utilizing these skills that we have in the company, especially now that we've got a job that we know will pay. Justin's going to do this one. He's committed to it. It's going to be about a 4-hour job with JavaScript. But if anyone else were interested in the future, we're going to need more support there coming up pretty soon. I'm also committed to trying to boost our social media. Now that we have Google Analytics and we have all that information to see, and Wade can look at that for the marketing aspect, so can Aaron, to get anything that they might need and try to boost that, get people more interested, keep them chatting. So that's another thing I would like to do. And with that, I'd like to write 4 articles a month, which is once a week, and trying to inspire others to do the same, in return for like a little extra participation points if they do it, like double points if they get post an article, something like that gets people more involved. And also getting verifications down to a 1 to 2 hour time duration. In doing that, I'm still upkeeping them all. So if you guys need me to add any stores or anything, please communicate with me and let me know. Mike does a really good job of doing that with me, so does Wade. But if you guys want a store, just be vocal about it. Just reach out and email me and I'll look into it for you. Other than that, in doing that, to maintain it, I also have to issue tracking IDs to those that don't have them. The tracking IDs are still working, they're still taking, but there's still a lot of people that don't have them. And the only way that I really know that they're shopping is if they reach out to me and say, hey, I've been shopping for 2 months, but I haven't seen anything. And a lot of that's because I haven't issued them a tracking ID. So we can solve that pretty quickly.
Solve that programmatically.
Yeah, and Justin's going to help with that programmatically as well.
So how about, it's a thought. I mean, those are all good thoughts, Sammy, and I appreciate your effort and commitment and work that you've done to make all this better. Can we put up on our site like a frequently asked questions page or something like that kind of goes through those things so people kind of know what to look for? And I got some other stuff to add after you're done, Sammy, about dashboards and along the same vein.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's fine, Mike Morris. You can get with me. Hold on 1 second.
So since you're holding for a second,
Anyway, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
may I ask,
Sorry, Henry. We can create a frequently asked questions page. It's not very difficult. No worries.
I apologize. So when I'm signing someone up and they go through it and they're waiting for verification, can we have after the sign up where they can go ahead into the mall and see all of what the mall is about? and see all the stores. That might help in the getting them to sign up and they can see it.
You know, I love your commentary because you kind of point out the obvious. Yes, absolutely. We want to get there. I'm trying to make this all one application eventually, not three separate applications. It's just the way that we've kind of come about the requirements that we needed at the time that has created these three separate applications and the resources and capabilities that we had. But in my goals, that's one of my goals, is to kind of put this all into one application and one user experience that makes sense. Right now, again, it's disjointed, and I understand that problem, and we're going to work towards trying to fix that problem.
Okay, well, thank you. I was just thinking it'd be easier as you showing them, and then I gotta have them wait. Luckily, I could text Mike Stewart, and he says, "Outstanding, I'll do it," and then bam, they're on.
Hey, John Hennigan, are you on still? John?
Yep. Sorry, I was trying to get the mute button there. Yep, I'm here.
All right. Could you do me a favor and put something on the list there that is just, I don't know how we explain it, but basically it's for me to explore a shortcut to the login experience and making it a little bit more. I'll know what that means. If you could just note it for me.
We already have something on the list that talks about the multiple logins. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but I mean a shortcut. I mean that's the long term, trying to put all that together. But what I'm saying is there might be something short term that I can do that kind of helps out with that.
Got it. Okay.
It won't be something we'll keep long term, but maybe it'll alleviate some of these issues that I think people are having. So anyway, thank you, Henry. Anything else?
Thank you.
So I guess I'll go. So I got the payments structure updated last week to where it's actually being accurate as far as the payments that are due based off of the commissions for the shopping, and it's accumulating all of the payment information into one database with one set of calculations for each month, and it breaks it out in a way that is understandable. I know, Mike, I saw your email about being able to add in who these people are to your spreadsheet. This is a database, so it's just going to have the ID right now. The whole point is for me to build an admin set of admin screens that'll go on top of this that you guys will be able to use to, deal with this data and understand it a little bit better the way that you want to. And I can tie all that together in the user interface. So right now I have that separated, and I could go in there and munch the data and put something in the spreadsheet for you and be able to give you that information. But right now I'm sorry, I just don't have the extra hours. I would love to. Someone like Sammy may be able to do that, but I know she's got a lot of stuff going on. So I'm sorry. Let me know what I can do to help. But I trying to spend time working in Excel, I just don't have that bandwidth right now. And over the next month, unfortunately, I'm not going to have a lot of bandwidth. I have weird things going on at work that are requiring me to work extra hours, and so I'm going to be kind of doing as much as I possibly can. Like last week, I worked probably 100 hours, and maybe 10 of those was working for DD, putting together this payments thing and starting to work on doing credits. Credits is about 70 to 80% of the way there. It's just a lot of data that's coming in, so I have to just make sure that it's correct, and the tests that I'm getting are just off by certain amounts. I'm almost there. I should be able to get credits as well into the same payments database. That's what I pulled that spreadsheet from, Mike. So you'll be able to see the payments, the payment credits, and the point totals all within one spreadsheet, and you'll have it for each month based off of year. that's just getting that in the database. And then I have to be able to build a cron job that runs on a regular basis. And unfortunately, I only really want this to run every 24 hours. I don't want it to run too much, because the more you run it, the more things can get messed up. So it's good right now to run it at maybe every 24 hours, and I can look at the logs every day and make sure that everything ran okay before we start kicking it off every hour or so that all of the information on the database, on the dashboard, is updated immediately. So that's the first thing I'll do when I get all of this data in the database. The next thing is then to go into the dashboard and make sure that those numbers match what's in the accumulated section of the database, which is the spreadsheet I sent you. And then we have, from there, I have to build the admin screen so that you can actually manage those things. So it's quite a bit of work, and I will probably put in maybe 10 to 15 hours a week if I can, on top of what I'm already doing. That's my commitment. And the other thing I want to say is we've submitted goals. I'd like us to consider, well, first off, I thought the goals were for the year. I didn't realize they were for the month. So I submitted goals for the year, and I didn't really think about this month, unfortunately. And so now I will change that. The other thing I'd like to consider, instead of submitting goals, I think what we should be submitting is what Sammy's been saying, is commitments. I think we should submit what we're committed to doing. Maybe a stretch goal with it to say, here's what I'd like to do, but here's probably what I'll be able to get done. You know, just to kind of give us an idea of here's what's probably realistic, here's what's maybe I could get to if I have some extra time, kind of scenario. But that's basically my status.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Anybody else have any comments?
Yeah, so that's kind of, Justin, thank you. That makes a lot of sense, and thanks for explaining that. Those are a lot of questions I wanted to ask for our next meeting, and I don't think we probably need to have it. But so my vision on the best way to pay people is this dashboard concept that accumulates, not just month to month, but until we pay them. So the way it would work is we keep tallying up their purchases.
Yeah.
And then their points, participation, and then when it reaches a threshold, it triggers, you know, email to me that, all right, it's time to pay this person. Then I pay them, and then it resets. Yeah, or I tell you.
And that gets more into the bank concept that Henry's always been talking about as well. That starts to get into, okay, we can start allowing them to make decisions on when they want to get paid and how we pay them. But yes, I'm with you. That's the next step. So
yes, we need to build a bank.
All I'm trying to do right now is just get you the data. The next thing is like, what do we do with it, and how do we feed back into it? I haven't gotten there yet, but
so my main question right now for the group, and I think I know the answer to this, but I just want to hear consensus, is I have folks that have come to me. My mom is a perfect example because she knows me, obviously. She's been the poster child for, you know, online mall usage and participation in the company since April. And she's screenshotted every month her dashboard, and she sent me those. I can see what we've told her we owe her in both participation points and mall shopping, online shopping, and it's quite a bit of money. And I had another guy that kind of the same scenario. I can't replicate those numbers with what I've seen from you, Justin, or Sammy. I mean, I can get sometimes close, but not exactly. And
right. But so if you could have it where it continued, so that the numbers kept accelerating, and I got to show somebody else, here's my dashboard. This is my participation points, and I had 6 months worth or 3 months worth. And I'm like, wow, really? You did that in 3 months?
Yeah, but that's not what he's talking about, Henry.
There's no doubt the power of that dashboard. But what I'm saying is it's not matching. And we need to get it to match. And
Yeah.
if we tell somebody we owe them something,
Yeah.
I think we got to pay that. And I'm not talking huge amounts, but it's,
Right.
you know, it's order of magnitude of like 10 or 15 bucks here and there.
Mike,
I
can you
mean,
do me a huge favor?
Yep.
Send me those screenshots, please.
Okay. I mean, yeah. And
Just
I mean,
because
I don't,
I need some of that to determine. I just send me that dashboard. Let me understand exactly what's happening. I just, you know, this isn't magic. It's math, right? I mean, so
Yeah.
it's a matter of getting the math right. So I just need to make sure, and we have things obfuscated like it's on somebody's dashboard. I totally understand the problem that causes, and I'm trying to fix it. You know, just saying, if I have the numbers, at least I can get to the point where that makes sense.
okay. No problem. That's all I have. And I don't think I need to hold anybody up at 9 either.
Great, guys. That's excellent. I'm going to suggest that we make this just anyone that wants to listen to as part of the entity can listen to it. So Alex, if you can, I'll work with you to get it up on YouTube, and then we'll have it so that any of our membership can enjoy it. I think it's good stuff. So any other thoughts? Anybody else? Okay, very good. I'll stick on the line. Alex, if you want to end the recording
Stop the
now.
recording. Okay, no problem.